Hi guys, my name is Michael. Welcome back. So in this video, I'd like to bring your attention to a few things. I'm going to be talking specifically about silver. As you guys know, on this channel, I haven't really done a silver dedicated video. I've spoken about silver in passing. When I'm talking about gold, I always mention silver, but I haven't really sat down to do a silver video. Do you get? So in this video, being my first silver video, I want you guys to expect a lot of insights. I'm going to be talking about the reason why we are seeing the price of silver skyrocket. I'm also going to talk about the opportunities that exist in silver at the moment. I'm also going to give you a price prediction for silver. And then finally, I'm going to talk about, ways to gain exposure to silver so that you can take advantage of the opportunities that I will be talking about today. But before we get into this silver video, I want to tell you guys something. When Donald Trump came to power, he said something. He said America has entered into its golden era or golden age, something like that. And what a lot of people did not hear in that statement is that this golden era has got a silver lining on it. So it's so important for us to pay attention to silver. The opportunities that exist in silver have been around for a long time. I'm talking about over 50 years. So we are blessed to be around right now to take advantage of the opportunity. A lot of people have waited to see these things that is happening in silver. Some people have waited, some people are dead. Do you get? But we are blessed to be around right now to see all these things play out in our generation. Do you get? So let's get right into it. So the opportunities, like I said, that exist in silver have been around. So are the problems that exist. The problem that exists in silver, they've been around for a long time. What we are seeing play out in 2025 is nothing new. This is a long time coming. Do you get? The issues in silver is well known by everyone who is, paying attention to silver. We know the issues in silver. The supply does not match the demand. The demand outweighs the supply. And this has been the case, since the 80s, since the 70s. The Hunt brothers, they saw this opportunity. Warren Buffett saw this opportunity. Everyone that just takes a look at silver for even a quick 5 minutes will realize that the opportunity has always been there. Do you get? One of the strange things about silver is that for a long time, silver has just, has not reacted to the laws of economics. As you guys know, the laws of economics says that if the demand outweighs the supply, the prices have to go up. But this has not been the case in silver. So silver has been like, an anomaly. Do you get? Because we know that the demand outweighs the supply, but the price has remained the same. And that is because there have been forces that have made sure that the price of silver was deliberately suppressed. So what we are seeing in 2025 is that the demand is now so great that the forces, the suppression can no longer hold. So we are seeing the suppression strings break off silver. Do you get? And so the right word to use about what is going on in silver right now is that silver is having a breakout. Do you get? We're seeing a breakout in silver because the suppression strings, the mechanisms, the short positions that have been used to hold silver down can no longer hold it down. And that is why we are seeing, all this silver squeeze, potential going on, especially in the LBMA and all these things. So it's important to know that the opportunities and the problems, are historical. So let's talk about some of the things that are affecting the price of silver right now and why the suppression can no longer hold. Do you get? So we're seeing skyrocketing lease rates, for silver. So 30% annualized. So the price of, borrowing silver has gone up. As you guys know, people who mine silver, who sell silver into the public market, they use various tools sort of to hedge against price fluctuations. So if you're a silver miner, you use things like futures, options contract to make sure that you get a particular price of silver. So if you're trying to plan your forecast for a year or 2 years, you need to use a particular price point. So these guys will go into the market and put derivatives, futures and options to make sure that they get a particular price for their silver goods. Do you get? So the price of holding silver short positions have gone up by 30%. So it's now very expensive to hold on to your short positions. So what we are seeing is that a lot of people who have been shorting silver have now had to cover their shorts. They've had to actually purchase the metals. So that has put a strain, in a little bit of strain in the market. The other thing that we are seeing is the demand is increasing for physical silver. India especially has been one country where we have seen inflows of unusual inflows of silver and even gold into India. And that is because, the people of India and, mostly Asia, they don't look at gold and silver the way Westerners look at them. Those people understand the monetary value of gold and silver. They call silver the poor man's gold. So people who cannot afford gold always go for silver. And also jewelries in India, mostly, they use gold and silver. So we have seen huge inflows of silver into India. And if you're a jewel maker, you're not looking for tokenized silver. You actually want the physical silver. So we've seen physical silver, leave the London vault into India. Also, another strain that we saw earlier this year is this whole issue of tariff. When Trump started talking about tariffs and everything, a lot of people felt like it was going to affect gold and silver. So a lot of people began to ship their silver into London, into US, away from London, again depleting the votes. So people started, traders and investors started, shipping their silver into the United States, because if the silver is already in the US, then it wouldn't affect. Tariffs wouldn't affect it. So the tariffs would have affected, imports. Do you get? So a lot of people, in order to mitigate that tariff issue, started demanding their silver away from London into New York. So we're seeing that was something that also put a stress on the market. Also, we're seeing industrial demand. As you guys know, I said the issues in silver has always been around over 50 years, ago. So the supply has, always been, the demand has always been more than the supply. But what we are even seeing is that there's more demand coming online, but new supply is not coming online. The silver mines are not increasing. Do you get? The demand for silver is increasing? Do you get? People are holding silver as monetary metals, as store of value. We see solar panels. The demand for solar panel, alternative energy backups and everything is increasing. EVs are increasing, and all these products use silver components. Do you get? Use silver for their components, or to design their solutions. Do you get? So the demand for silver is increasing, but the supply is not increasing. So you can see a part of the issue is supply shortages. Do you get? The market is experiencing a significant supply deficit. This is not a 2025 problem. This has been there for a while. Warren Buffett saw this opportunity. The Horn brothers saw this opportunity. So it's always been there. Then finally, we have geopolitical and economic uncertainty. So a lot of people are using these precious metals to hedge against inflation, against so many things. Do you get? So these are some of the things that are making the price of silver go up. So it's important for us to have this backstory when we want to take a look at the opportunities that exist in silver. So right now, how is this short squeeze playing out? So we're seeing a price gap between London and New York. Do you get? And it's been fluctuating. It moved from $1.55 to to as high as $3. So what it means is that the silver price in New York is cheaper than the silver price in London. So that means there's an arbitrage, and traders will take advantage of that. Do you get? We're going to see traders who will buy from New York and sell to London. Anytime there is a price gap, it's an opportunity for traders to take advantage of that, difference. Do you get? So if I'm a trader, I'm buying at 155 in London and selling to, selling at $3 to I'm buying at 155 in New York, selling at $3 to London. I've got a difference, the spread there of 145 or so. Do you get? So a lot of traders will take advantage of that arbitrage. So that's why we are seeing this squeeze, in silver. Also, we have that short covering that we talked about. People who are shorting silver, is now very expensive to short silver, so people have to cover their shorts. So this is also adding to the problem. And also, finally, investors, placing unprecedented demand on silver, do you get, in order to protect their investments, in order to protect their buying power, in currencies and all that. So those are some of the factors that is leading the price of silver upwards at the moment. Now, I've told you guys that the issues and the opportunities in silver has always been there. So in the 80s, we saw the Horn brothers try to corner the silver market. In 1997, we saw Warren Buffett go into silver, which was an unprecedented move. So it's always been there. And every time someone tries to take advantage of the silver market, we always have this central figure. Do you get? Like the Horn brothers, where people can accuse them and say, what, you guys are responsible for the issues in silver. Do you get? Even though it was an opportunity that they were trying to take advantage of. So they would usually have a boogeyman and say, this person is responsible. It's because they are buying all the silver. That's why they are responsible for the issues in silver. But what we are seeing right now is a different thing play out. So in the past, we have had various silver squeeze. We've had, the Hunt brothers, put on a silver squeeze in the 1980s. And I think we had one recently, I think in 2021 or so. And every time we have this silver squeeze, it dies out. Do you get it? Just dies out. But this time, things are a little bit different. Do you get? And I want to talk about why, this squeeze is very different from the previous ones that we've had. For instance, in this particular squeeze that we are seeing right now, there is no single manipulator. In the past, they talked about the Hunt brothers, they are the ones manipulating the market. Or in 1997, Warren Buffett buying all that silver. It felt like, it's just one man trying to corner the market. But this time, there is no boogeyman. There is nobody to hold. There is no one manipulator that buys all the silver. There's nobody that they can hang and say, oh, this is the person causing the issue. You get, the issues are they are broad in nature. You cannot just put your hand and say this is the one single thing that is causing the squeeze. Also, in the past, they would say, oh, there is no regulation in silver. That is why we're seeing all this issue. Now, when it comes to the silver market, it is regulated, transparent. We've got the LBMA, there's oversights. There are so many things, but regardless, we are still seeing this squeeze in silver. Also, right now, what we are seeing is the global macro context. Gold and other metals are rallying. Do you get, suggesting that investors, this is a broader investor sentiment. This is not just the guys in Wall Street silver or Wall Street bets. The last time, we saw a squeeze in silver, they were saying, oh, it's the guys in Wall Street silver that are causing this. This is not those guys. Do you get, there is nobody that you can point to and say, oh, these are the people causing this issue. This is a very broad thing. You get investors from North America to Asia to Africa. Everyone is in on this. So there's nobody that you can hold on to. Also, we're seeing structural tightness, the lease rates that we talked about. You get, it's not a one-off event. This thing has been happening month over month over month. So what I'm trying to say is that this time it's really different. Do you get? We are seeing a very broad and healthy demand in silver, not one based on speculation or, an individual manipulator. So in 2025, this squeeze is very, very different. Do you get? This silver short squeeze is different. We're seeing various events come together to create a perfect storm for silver. Supply scarcity, investor sentiment, global demand. So many things are coming together to make this a perfect storm. And that is why it is going to be very difficult to stop this silver rise this time. It's going to be difficult. It's not one that you can suppress. It's too broad. It's too broad. You can't suppress it. And that is where the opportunity for us lies. So I want to talk a little bit about silver price prediction, because I know some of you want to just know about this. And silver is a very, very unique instrument, because when we talk about price prediction, if I want to do a price prediction for XRP or XLM or all these other instruments or tokens, it's based on your own personal opinion. Do you get, like, oh, this is my personal opinion? But when it comes to silver, there's actually a framework that exists that a lot of people agree to for finding out the price of silver or for predicting the price of silver. And that is something called the gold-silver ratio. And this particular ratio is really talking about how many silver ounces does it take to get 1 gold ounce. And this is a historical, this particular ratio has been around for a long time, even since the days of the Bible. I think when I looked at the Bible, I could see different ratios. I could see 30-1, where you would get one gold for 30 pieces of silver, 1 piece of gold for 30 pieces of silver. So it's been around for a long time. And right now, the gold silver ratio is saying is pointing at 80 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. Now, a lot of people believe that, this is the best way to predict where silver will go. So a lot of people believe that historically, the ratio between gold and silver should be 30-1. Some people believe that it should be 15-1. Either ways, whether it's 30-1 or 15-1, what we are seeing here is a big opportunity between the current price of silver and the true value of the price of silver. Remember, gold is trading at over $4,000, but silver is still at $50. So what we are seeing is that there is a gap between the current price of silver and the true price of silver. So silver, like XRP, is looking for price discovery. And so that is the opportunity that we need to take advantage of. Do you get? So if we calculate this gold silver ratio, based on if we calculate the price of silver, predict the price of silver based on the gold silver ratio, you will see that if we're looking at 30 to 1, right? Right now we have, we're looking at 80 to 1. So we're looking at 80 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. And we are saying that historically it should be around 30 or 15. So if you look at even 30 to 1, right, you will see that for the gold silver ratio to be 30 silver ounces to 1 ounce of gold, you're looking at the price of silver needs to rise to around $133, which is over 100% from today's price. Right, over 100% from today's price. And if you're looking at 15 to 1, 15 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold, you're looking at the price of silver to rise to around $266, which is over 400% from where we are today. Do you get what I'm saying? So those are the opportunities that exist in the silver space. Gold has run up a lot, but silver has not gone as fast as gold. But historically, we know that silver always outperforms gold. Do you get? If you look at, go back to the 80s, you will see that gold will always run up, but silver will catch up, and silver will end up outperforming gold, for investors. Do you get? So what we are seeing here is a gap between the current price of silver and the true value price of silver. That is the advantage, or that is the opportunity that exists. So if you're somebody that is getting into silver, this is what we're looking at. We're saying that if the gold silver ratio, should be around 30 silver ounces to 1 ounce of gold, then the price of silver needs to rise to around $133. And then when you look at all the tailwinds for silver right now, we're talking about industrial demand. We're talking about, inflation, monetary demand, investor sentiment, all these things are pointing to the fact that we are going to see unprecedented demand on silver that the supply cannot keep up with. Also, the ETFs are buying more silver right now to sort of hedge against a future price increase. Most people are predicting that the price of silver is going to go up. So even the ETFs, SLV, they are buying more silver right now to sort of take advantage of that arbitrage, of that price difference. So that's what we're talking about here. So if you're someone that's getting into silver, these are the things that you need to be looking at. That ETF demand, that industrial demand, that investor demand. Even the average Joe now is buying silver. If you go to J Bullion or something, you will see that the price. The demand for silver, even on Reddit, just search on social media, you will see a lot of people are beginning to talk about silver. And the moment the average Joe starts talking about investing in silver, you know that the news has gotten out. So this is not something that they can hold back anymore. So now that we've talked about the causes of the what is making the price of silver go up, we've also talked about the opportunities and the price prediction that exists. Let's talk about how to get exposure to silver. As you guys know, there are various ways to gain exposure to silver. The first one, and this is the one most people recommend, is having the physical metal, buying the actual silver metal. And you can do this by, going on to various bullion websites, depending on where you are, the country you are. I know in Canada, they've got a lot of bullion dealers. In the United States as well, there's a lot of bullion dealers. In the UK and Europe, you've got a lot of bullion dealers online that you can order these silver ounces from, and store them yourself. But a lot of people might not like to store those kind of metals in their home for safety concerns. So if you're not into the physical metal, another way to get exposure to silver is using the ETFs. Remember, I talked about the ETFs. The ETFs are also buying record amount of silver as well. So the ETFs, some of the ETFs you can use is SLV. SLV is one of the largest silver ETFs. SPDR silver ETF is one of the largest, and it's very liquid. A lot of people use SLV to gain exposure to silver. You can also use PSLV, which is a Sprott ETF. A lot of silver, enthusiasts prefer PSLV to SLV, because I think with PSLV you can actually redeem your silver. So with SLV, you're just using it to gain price exposure, but you have no rights to the underlying silver assets. But I think with PSLV, and guys can correct me in the comments, with PSLV, you can actually redeem your silver. So if you've got, a particular amount of PSLV shares, you can request the physical metal and turn in your shares and get your physical metal. But that is not possible with SLV. So you have to know these things. So make sure you read the prospectus for all these ETFs before you get into them. Another way to get exposure to silver is using royalty companies. So silver royalty companies are companies who have a partnership with silver miners, to invest in the companies and get silver back as their as a return on their investment. Do you get? So you have companies like Wheaton Precious Metals who have a lot. I mean, I think they are the most popular silver mining, silver streaming companies, or silver royalty company within precious metal. You also have Royal Gold. So these particular companies, the difference between them and the miners is that they have no mines, right? They just have rights to the silver that come out of the mines, but they don't go into mining. So a lot of people see them as a less risky asset, because with the mining companies, you can have jurisdiction problems, you can have so many issues, you get. But with these streaming companies, they don't have those downside risks to them. Do you get what I'm saying? So you can use the royalty companies as a way to get exposure to silver, because when silver goes up, these companies also are affected by the price of silver. The next one is the silver miners themselves. So the people who go and dig the ground and bring out the silver, those are the miners, and you can use them to gain exposure to silver, because they have silver with them, right? So if the price of silver goes up, the silver miners as well, they perform very well. So one of them is First Majestic, which is one of the biggest. Ticker symbol is AG, and they are available on the stock market. Also, Pan American Silver, PAAS, is also available on the stock market. You can use that to gain exposure to silver and all these things. So out of all these ones we've talked about, on this channel, our favorite vehicle for exposure is tokenized. So I like the tokenized silver, and one of the tokenized silver asset that you can use to gain exposure to the price of silver is SLVR. And SLVR is a token that is only available on the Stellar network. Do you get? So the only way you can buy it at the moment is by having a Lobster wallet. Do you get? So it's available on the Stellar network. SLVR is very liquid. You can use it to gain exposure to silver. They sell it at theirs is done at the gram level. So in most places, if you want to buy silver or gold, is at the ounce level, but with SLVR is at the gram level. So all you have to do is download the Lobster wallet on your phone or your computer, sign up to it, and then you can get access to SLVR and buy SLVR. And the way you would do this is to use XLM, the native token for the Stellar network, and swap and get SLVR. So you would need to buy XLM tokens either from the Stellar wallet, or you can transfer from your other exchanges or your other wallets into this Lobster wallet, and then you swap your XLM token for SLVR. And it has been a very, very good token for me. I use it a lot as well. So those are the ways you can get exposure to the price of silver. Like I said, the issues and the opportunities in silver has been around for a long time. We are blessed to be around at this time to see this thing materialize. A lot of people have been predicting the issues in silver. If you go into the gold and silver community, they've been talking about this thing for a long time. We are going to see silver go up. We are going to see issues in the silver market, because the issues have always been there. Do you get? But we happen to be around to take advantage. Some people have talked about this silver thing and then they passed on. Do you get? They are not alive to see this opportunity play out, even though they knew about it and they talked about it. So I consider us to be blessed to be around in this period to take advantage of all these opportunities that are opening up. So guys, I just thought I'd bring this to your attention. right? I know it's a long video, but there's a lot to take in, regarding silver, and there's more to talk about when it comes to silver. But I don't want this video to be longer than it should be. So, guys, like and subscribe. I'm going to leave it here for now. So, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you want to get access to my exclusive video, consider joining the membership group where I'm going to discuss in depth about what is going on in the silver space. Anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye for now.